Deep within the heart of the Pacific, where waves whisper secrets to the wind, a plot unfolds on the enigmatic island of Mageshima, a covert operation that could reshape the destiny of nations. As the transformation of this desolate landscape into a strategic military base, a looming showdown between two giants, the United States and China, approaches. Mageshima isn't just Japan's project, it's a chess piece in a larger game. Meanwhile, as American military prowess strategically relocates, questions abound. What unseen forces are propelling the U.S. to nestle its might closer to the East China Ocean, casting a shadow over its adversarial neighbor, China? Join us on a mind-bending journey into the heart of political intrigue as we unveil why the U.S. and China are preparing to fight total war. In the realm of national defense, the U.S. Department of Defense periodically unveils a significant document known as the National Defense Strategy, a comprehensive overview of the United States of America's military intentions and priorities. This strategic report, coupled with the Nuclear Posture Review and Missile Defense Review, serves as a critical window into the activities and concerns of the U.S. military, updated every 4 years to reflect evolving dynamics. This year's release is particularly noteworthy for its heightened level of detail, offering citizens insight into the intricate workings of the U.S. military machinery. At the forefront of the document's focus is the rising influence of China. The Department of Defense underscores the gravity of the situation, labeling China as the most consequential strategic competitor for the coming decades. The crux of the matter lies in China's perceived threats to the sovereignty of nations, especially in confrontation with the United States. The report highlights China's tactics, asserting that it is actively engaging in coercive measures to reshape the region and the international system in alignment with its authoritarian ideals. This poses a direct challenge to the established global order, which the United States has played a pivotal role in shaping, defining everything from trade norms to political systems. A cause for concern within the U.S. military circles is China's swift modernization and expansion of its military capabilities. The report emphasizes the alarming pace at which China is bolstering its military strength, likening it to deploying the equivalent of an entirely new British Navy every 4 years. This rapid growth raises apprehensions about China's increasing dominance and military presence, prompting the United States to closely monitor and respond to the evolving landscape with vigilance. China's assertiveness on the international stage is becoming increasingly evident through various actions. It includes pressuring neighboring countries, flouting maritime boundaries, conducting missile tests, intimidating fishing vessels in foreign waters, constructing islands, establishing military bases on those islands, and even violating airspace, particularly around Taiwan. Notably, Taiwan is a crucial island, recognized as a global hub for advanced microchip production. This collective behavior positions China uniquely as the sole nation possessing both the intention and capability to challenge the prevailing U.S.-led global order. This order, established over the past 70 years, encompasses the rules and norms that govern international relations. In essence, China aims to reshape these rules, prompting the United States to view it as the most significant strategic competitor in the foreseeable future. To address this challenge, the U.S. has formulated a strategic plan with a sense of urgency, recognizing the need for prompt action. They acknowledge a 10-year window for implementing substantial changes in response to China's growing influence. The current U.S. military presence in Asia is substantial, with approximately 8,000 troops stationed in Guam, over 100 bases in Japan housing around 21,000 mounted American troops on the mainland, and an additional 24,000 on the Japanese island of Okinawa. Moving to South Korea, there are 22,000 U.S. troops stationed there. Furthermore, the U.S. Navy operates from a port in Singapore. This robust presence has been the norm in Asia for decades, serving to ensure security for allies and safeguard American interests while acting as a deterrent to potential conflicts. However, the dynamics are shifting as the focus on the Middle East in the past 2 decades has somewhat diverted attention from Asia. Despite maintaining strong alliances in the region, the Pentagon recognizes the need to reassess and adapt to the evolving geopolitical landscape. As ongoing conflicts gradually subside and China intensifies its military capabilities, the U.S. Department of Defense contends that the existing state of affairs in Asia, characterized by a substantial American troop presence, is insufficient. Recognizing this, the department introduces a novel approach to deterrence, termed integrated deterrence, positing it as the only effective military posture to counter China's ambitions. So, what does this innovative strategy entail? A part of this plan involves revisiting American bases, with the reopening of a base in Guam and the relocation of some troops. However, the crux of the strategy revolves around cultivating alliances with key partners in Asia who share the United States' objective of deterring and constraining China. The Pentagon underscores the centrality of collaborating with allies, deeming it the linchpin of this comprehensive strategy. Taking a closer look at Japan, a long-standing and close ally of the United States in the region, reveals deep-seated concerns about a more potent China, particularly given its formidable navy and aspirations concerning Taiwan. Japan, often associated with its visible landmass, extends significantly southward through a network of islands, forming a protective barrier that reaches Taiwan. In examining Japan's national defense strategy, a striking parallel emerges with the Pentagon's concerns about China, highlighting a shared unease and a mutual commitment to thwarting an increasingly assertive China in the region. This collaborative effort starts with Mageshima, the island mentioned earlier, emerging as a new military base and airstrip jointly utilized by Japanese and U.S. militaries. Proceeding southward, Amami Island enters the picture, where Japan has recently bolstered its defenses with long-range missiles and anti-ship missiles. There are even considerations about adding cruise missiles to enhance their strategic capabilities. The alignment of strategies and coordinated actions reflects a united front among allies, poised to address the evolving challenges posed by China's escalating influence. Let's delve deeper into the missile situation. Japan is acquiring these missiles from the United States, and what's crucial to note is that these missiles can reach the Taiwan Strait. Moving along the sequence, we arrive at Okinawa, where the United States maintains a substantial troop presence, numbering in the tens of thousands. Japan, too, has military bases in this region and is not holding back. It's augmenting its arsenal with additional long-range missiles and electronic warfare units. These units play a tactical role in military installations, disrupting and denying communication signals. Venturing to the islands further south, additional long-range missiles are being deployed, potentially serving as a deterrent against Chinese naval ships and aircraft. Ishigaki, one of these islands, is also seeing an influx of nearly 600 Japanese troops. Finally, let's focus on the last fortified island in this strategic chain, Yonaguni. Positioned closest to Taiwan, Japan is reinforcing it with more electronic warfare units. These units serve the purpose of jamming communication signals or eavesdropping on them. Considering their proximity to China, Japan is also stationing additional troops in Yonaguni. This configuration of islands and military enhancements, when combined with joint training exercises conducted by Japan and the United States, sends a robust message to China. The message is clear. Japan is prepared to respond promptly if the need arises. Moreover, this line of defense acts as a physical obstacle that any Chinese ship or submarine must navigate to access the Pacific Ocean. It offers Japan a degree of control and surveillance, reinforced by a formidable array of missiles. Essentially, China must now factor in this formidable line of missile defense in any strategic calculations related to the region, notably regarding the potential invasion of Taiwan or any other actions in the area. The expanded military presence across this string of islands furnishes Japan, and by extension, the United States, with a strategic advantage in monitoring China's communications and troop movements. This heightened awareness equips them to respond promptly to unfolding situations. Furthermore, it provides the capability to strategically position troops and supplies throughout the region, presenting a significant logistical edge. However, this substantial reinforcement comes at a considerable cost. Despite being officially a pacifist nation without an extensive military, Japan is gearing up to double its defense spending. In a notable shift, they're allocating a substantial portion of these funds to acquire weaponry, with a staggering 97% of these acquisitions originating from the United States. This island chain strategy extends its reach to the Philippines, located close to Taiwan and the South China Sea. While the United States recognizes the imperative of strengthening its presence in this region, the situation is more complex compared to Japan. The Philippines shares a sensitive history with the United States, having been a colony for several decades. Even after gaining independence, the U.S. retained a military presence until the 1990s, when the Philippines decided to expel them, viewing it as a lasting legacy of U.S. colonialism. Nevertheless, the escalating assertiveness of China poses a substantial threat to the Philippines. A significant point of contention lies in China's claim of an expansive maritime boundary delineated by a line with 9 dashes drawn by a Chinese official in 1948. This line directly contradicts the internationally recognized territorial waters of the Philippines, leading to ongoing conflicts at sea. On a day-to-day basis, Filipino fishing vessels face harassment from Chinese military ships, adding a volatile dimension to the maritime dispute. In 2022, China stopped fishing in the South China Sea, preventing the Philippines from fishing in the West Philippine Sea. The Chinese Navy bullied the Philippines using lasers on their ships. The Philippines, much smaller than China, faced a tough choice: give up their rights to China or partner with the U.S., their former colonizer. They chose the U.S. in 2014, letting them back in after 22 years. The U.S. can use Filipino bases, and by late 2022, this agreement expanded to 9 bases. These are in the north, close to Taiwan, helping in the island chain strategy. This move allows the U.S. to be near Taiwan, ready to respond quickly to any issues and stop China from bullying Filipino fishing. The Philippines made this choice due to China's actions, even though there's a historical connection with the U.S. The U.S. and Filipino forces trained together, making them prepared for potential conflicts. So in short, China's fishing ban led to bullying, pushing the Philippines to choose between China and the U.S. They picked the U.S. in 2014, allowing U.S. troops on Filipino bases. By late 2022, they expanded this to 9 bases in the north, close to Taiwan. This move helps the U.S. be prepared and stop China's aggression, supporting the Philippines in their fishing disputes. The Philippines made this choice to protect their interests, even though they have a history with the U.S. The joint training ensures they're ready for any conflicts. Imagine building a strong defense plan like fitting puzzle pieces together. That's what's happening with this island chain strategy. The islands are forming a kind of barrier, helping the U.S. and its friends in the Pacific work together smoothly. But wait, there's more. This strategy doesn't stop there. It stretches around the South China Sea thanks to the U.S. base in Singapore. It's like a well-coordinated team making sure they have a good presence in the region. Now, let's talk about Australia. They're worried about China, so here comes a cool part. A military pact called AUKUS. The U.S., the U.K., and Australia are teaming up to create a super submarine force. The U.S. is sharing its nuclear submarine technology with Australia, and they'll all work together. Submarines from the U.S. and the U.K. will be based in Australia, and Australian sailors will join in on missions. They'll even share secret information. This means more submarines patrolling the waters, and these aren't regular submarines, they're nuclear-powered. We have a video explaining how awesome they are. They can stay underwater for months and travel long distances to places like Taiwan and the South China Sea. It's like having a team of underwater superheroes, making sure important areas are secure. This island chain strategy is becoming a powerful alliance, with each part playing a big role in keeping things safe. Imagine these submarines as strategic chess pieces, maneuvering through key choke points, solidifying the growing defensive line against China. Picture this. Many of these submarines likely carry powerful nuclear weapons, adding an extra layer of deterrence to an already formidable defense. But the plot thickens. Australia is constructing a permanent hangar for US B-52 bombers at the Tyndall Air Base in northern Australia. These bombers not only carry regular weapons, but also nuclear ones. Yes, you read that right. US bombers armed with nuclear weapons will now have a permanent home in Australia. This means a significant uptick in military presence in the Pacific, featuring hardware equipped with the most potent and impactful weapons at our disposal. It's a bold message to China, signaling that the West is fully prepared. Now, let's step back and look at the bigger picture, the entire island chain strategy. Military experts call it the first island chain, and it lies at the core of the U.S. and its allies' strategy to counter and contain China. It's like a protective shield for various interests across many nations, but the focal point is Taiwan. This entire militarization, missiles, submarines, air bases, troops, is all gearing up for a potential conflict in Taiwan. Here's the paradox. By gearing up for a fight, the intention is to avoid one. The extensive preparation might just make China think twice about the high costs of attempting to invade Taiwan. It's a delicate dance of readiness and deterrence, shaping a powerful strategy in this complex geopolitical game. Now, here's where things get tricky, the flip side of this whole situation. It might seem a bit like a chess game, where each move feels like an intentional step towards a bigger conflict. Put yourself in China's shoes for a moment. This island chain looks a lot like a deliberate attempt to corner them, keeping a close eye on everything they do. It's like a superpower from the far side of the globe, bringing in loads of military gear, all aimed at limiting China's influence in the region. No doubt, this plan is a recipe for heightened tensions between the two superpowers. Chinese President Xi Jinping has outright labeled it as a policy of encirclement and suppression. And, let's be real, he's got a point. Whether we like it or not, this feels like the good old Cold War-style containment strategy making a comeback. Just take a look at the map. It's hard to miss. The Chinese foreign minister even said that it's practically impossible for China not to react, signaling that they might hit back in some way. Now, here's the real concern. If the U.S. and its allies don't tread carefully, it might send a message to China that the time is ripe to go for Taiwan before this whole plan takes full effect. In a strange twist, this strategy might end up poking the very conflict it's trying so hard to prevent. It's like a delicate dance where one wrong move could set off a chain reaction. The stakes are high, and the outcome is uncertain, making it a complex chess match with global consequences. If you enjoyed watching this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more exciting content.